In today's world, with its endless stream of information and stress, the ability to manage your thoughts and emotions is becoming an important skill. Our mental health directly affects the quality of life, and the ability to control our reactions to external stimuli allows us to remain calm and productive. Here are a few steps to help you start managing your thoughts and emotions. This is a very important skill for any person. Since we are talking about working on ourselves, setting goals for the future, and learning to hear the subconscious, we need to manage our thoughts and emotions. Many of us have a habit of taking offense at criticism and blaming ourselves for failures. We perform these actions instantly, without thinking. It is these thoughts that we need to monitor and filter out in the first place, to put them away from the subconscious and consciousness, because they poison our lives. It is better to put praise, self-love, patience with loved ones, forgiveness and acceptance in their place. Of course, no one will succeed the first time. You can't completely switch from negative thoughts to positive ones in one day, but it can be fixed and change your life and fulfill your dream. The main thing is to start training. After all, it is easy to drive yourself into depression with self-blame. We are already used to blaming and shaming ourselves, but somehow it is not accepted to praise. It's time to think about yourself. My head is full of thoughts. They are all in a chaotic mess. Some thought gets out of the general mass and tells us that it's time to cry or be sad. We accept it and sink into depression. If you learn to control this flow, put your thoughts in the right order, then they will be connected and more useful. It's time to practice and pump up your brain. Applying your weakness, it seems that weakness needs to be fought. But how can it be applied to start holding your thoughts and emotions? The first thing to try is to do something useful at an unusual time for you. Larks should work in the evening, and owls should work early in the morning. You have long been accustomed to the fact that you are able to work productively only at a time that is comfortable for you. But it's worth trying to get creative late at night or early in the morning. So you will understand that the brain resists in the first minutes, but then it connects and starts working in a new plane. Mnemonics also work well in brain training. It is especially good to remember people's names when meeting, associating them with a person's profession, appearance, and habits. These connections make your brain work a little harder, but something more is stored in your memory than a name, which is difficult to associate with a certain person later. Reading books, even in the modern world, reading books is still in fashion. There is no need to replace literature with watching TV or various videos on the internet. They won't pump your brain. They won't make your thoughts and emotions work in the right order. Reading books makes you smarter, more educated, and more literate. It is best to read literature in different genres. Cognitive literature is the best friend for your brain. New hobbies, mastering a new mechanical task from knitting to playing tennis, opens up new areas in your brain. Any new task that you solve will create associations and force your brain to adapt to the information you receive in new routines. Proper nutrition, a balanced diet, allows a person to feel good. If you are full, you are less prone to stress and negative emotions. But it also matters what you eat. Too fatty food only slows down the processes. The body does not want to cope with additional loads, and neither does the brain. In order to get it to work, you need to take vitamins and consume glucose. Sports and sleep. Is it worth saying that sleep is very important in our lives? If a person does not get enough sleep, then this affects all areas of his life. He becomes inattentive, irritable, poorly assimilates the information received, cannot remember some things. Scientists claim that lack of sleep for the body is somewhat similar to intoxication. One method that can specifically boost your brain activity during sleep is to eat something before going to bed. It should be a small portion that does not contain too much sugar. The best example is fruits. This snack will keep your brain more active while your body is resting. Don't forget to exercise. Jogging outdoors is especially useful. They saturate the blood with oxygen, which is also useful for mental activity. A very good example is the comparison of the brain with a muscle. The principle is the same here. If the muscles are not trained, they become weak and atrophy over time. If you constantly use this muscle, demand its activity, then you make it strong. That's how the brain works. Challenge your brain as often as possible and you will become stronger and smarter. How do affirmations work? Psychologists keep repeating that thoughts are material. What you think about happens. Why do many people have to deal with childhood traumas? Because it is at that moment that the main fears and complexes are laid. By the way, parents and relatives are often to blame for all this. Perhaps, as a child, you were dissatisfied with the fact that you brought a 3 in your diary again or took an inappropriate place in sports competitions. You can list a lot of offensive statements that mom and dad can shower on a child whenever something doesn't work out. Instead of encouraging their child, they sow deeper and deeper the seed of insecurity and their own inferiority. As a result, when a child grows up, he can no longer think that he will one day become a great athlete or scientist. By reducing his abilities and talents, he prefers to keep his head down and become less noticeable. To start making changes in your life, you need to work on your thoughts and subconscious mind. Affirmations work very well. They are positive expressions that need to be repeated repeatedly for a couple of minutes every day. These expressions reinforce the idea in your head that you will be happy and successful because you deserve it. Positive affirmations are simple phrases or statements that help you gain confidence and challenge negative or useless thoughts. Despite their growing popularity, for some people, reading positive affirmations does not bring an increase in self-esteem. Do not despair. Most likely you did not work with them correctly. You need to make a few edits to make it work. There are 2 types of affirmations, special and general. It is clear that general affirmations create conditions for improving life in general. If you need to work on a certain area, then use special types. An example of a common affirmation is that I am happy and healthy. My life is getting better every day. I love and am loved. I have a great family. For a special affirmation, specifics are used. I go to work to earn $3,000 a month there. I am working productively and I am being promoted. On the internet, you can find a huge number of examples for all occasions. But do not think that they are more effective than those that you have compiled yourself. Psychologists say that your strength and energy embedded in affirmations bring much more benefits. How to use affirmations. Make the words realistic. One of the reasons that affirmations don't always turn out to be useful for some people is that they are too far outside their reality. This means that a person can at least memorize an affirmation and repeat it around the clock, but it will not work. That's because he just doesn't believe in its implementation. To get the job started, you need to make the goal more realistic and feasible. Don't tell me I can do anything, I'm omnipotent. Tell me better, I perform useful actions every day that bring me closer to such and such a goal. Focus on the process. Even if you practice affirmations until you turn blue, some things in life are beyond your control. You shouldn't want too much at once. The universe is waiting for us to take actions, gradual steps that will lead to the finish line. You can't say an affirmation, I'll get my dream job in 2 weeks, and think that it will come true. Repeat the following for yourself. I take active steps every day to get my dream job. Managing your thoughts and emotions is a process that takes time and effort, but by following these simple steps, you can significantly improve your mental health and quality of life. Remember that every step on this path is already progress. Start small and gradually introduce new practices into your life. Every day you will become more aware and emotionally stable person.